Merry fucking Christmas, everybody. How's it going? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with a quick video for you, post-match reaction for the Manchester United versus Newcastle United game, which has just finished 4-1 to the mighty Red Devils at Old Trafford. Oh, it's a mangasm situation. How's it going? Fantastic result for United. We've absolutely bloody destroyed Newcastle here. You know, we have actually ripped them a new arsehole, which is pretty much the name of their team, isn't it? Actually, more like we've nuked their arsehole. Nuke arsehole. That's what we've done with them. Anyway, it was bloody awesome. We dropped the atomic bomb on them at Old Trafford today. It was obviously a bad start for United. The first 20 minutes of the game were pretty shambolic for United defensively. Newcastle got at us a good few times, caused a few problems, and they had the ball in the back of the net. Matty Longstaff taking a great opportunity, made our defence like an absolute bag of shite right at the start of the game. First opening 20 minutes of the game or whatnot. United defending like a bunch of Stevie Wonders out there. Truly awful, truly uninspiring, but after that, that's the shot in the arse that we needed. We need to kick up the bollocks or kick up the arse, and that's the catalyst that we needed to go one down in that game. That's when United started to play. That's when we started to command, and that's when we started to get the better of the Geordies in this game out there. How are the lads? How does that feel? Anyway, I must say, let's just kick it off by saying, like, Harry Maguire, massively at fault for that first goal. Slabhead himself, like, come on, lad, £80 million slabhead, like, shouldn't be making silly errors like that. He had 2 errors in that first goal of Newcastle United in the build-up to it. Absolutely pathetic and piss poor. We need to cut that out, man. Supposed to be a quality defender here. 80 million quid this guy's cost us. You wouldn't know it. If somebody said he cost, 80k, you'd be like, maybe we've overpaid. But no, in all honesty, look, we won the game. It's forgiven, but he did make a bit of a silly error there. I mean, like, if we were talking about it in the live chat, like if Anthony Martial found himself back in that position and defended in the manner which Maguire did to concede that goal, we'd be saying, shite job at defending there, Anthony. Let Slabhead's an actual £80 million slabhead of a defender whose role is entirely to defend. And he didn't defend. But anyway, they scored. Longstaff's got the ball in the back of the net. A familiar sight, actually. Longstaff coming up against us. Disappointing to see. They took the 1-0 lead, but from that moment on, United really started to deliver and started to turn on the class and just show that we are a better team. Rightfully so. The Newcastle shitting United. Which, no offence to them, but they are an abomination of a football side, really. They've got even worse owners, or at least on a par with Manchester United, and they're just, they got old whiskey-nosed Steve Bruce in charge, who, by the way, what's going on with Steve Bruce's one eye today? He's got one pink eye. Like, we know he likes his whiskey, but is he, like, doing the eyeball pull, taking shots out of the Jameson's bottle and stuff out of one eye? It's obvious, Steve, okay? Either that, or his pillow was indeed pink-eyed by the missus last night for a shoddy Christmas present. But either way, Steve Bruce, sort your bloody eye out, mate. Have you never heard of eye drops, okay? You're a minted football manager, pal. Get your assistant down boots and get yourself some freaking eye drops, lad. Sort it out. Anyway, we got the better of him. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got the better of him, but after they scored, I wasn't quite so sure that was going to happen. But we did do that. United started to turn it on. We started to turn on the style. And I must say, the first goal, the equaliser by Anthony Martial, was absolutely brilliant from the lad, because it just must have filled him with a lot of confidence. It was a great opportunity given to him by Andreas Pereira. Cheeky bit of Statue of Liberty play, or he's just popped it off to him. Martial's found himself in a bit of space and slotted it away with a lovely curled effort into the bottom left-hand corner. Dubravka, the goalie, should have absolutely stopped it. It was a shoddy bit of goalkeeping from him. But at least Martial got that confidence and got back into the goal-scoring flow. And you saw him get another one in the back of the net in this game as well. So I'm over the moon for Anthony Martial, because he's really struggled recently. I haven't really been convinced with the type of movement and the type of play that he's been putting out there week in, week out as a striker, as a number 9. I know it's going to take him a little bit of a time to adapt, because he's not an out-and-out striker. He's not been brought through his career and developed as an out-and-out striker. He's just been given the number 9 this season by Ollie, so he's not going to be an overnight, ready-made, finished article yet. We need to see signs of improvement, though, and today we saw that again. In the previous game, I was criticising him, but really he didn't get that much service. Service is a big factor for forwards, and after they scored today, we did start to supply Anthony Martial with some service, and he also had a bit of fun interplaying with the likes of Rashford around him and Greenwood around him and people like that. And so Anthony Martial today I thought was brilliant. The couple of goals that he scored, the influential play that he can get the team, getting in the right direction. He's got the right eye for the right pass. He's got great vision. And I was just very impressed with Anthony Martial throughout the game. So absolutely boss that he's got a couple of goals there. Very happy with him. Hopefully it's the start of him scoring, going on a nice run of scoring goals now, because that's what we do need from a number 9. We do need to sign a striker in the January transfer window. I think Erling Haaland would be great. Whether or not that's realistic or not right now, who knows? But I would love to see us strengthen in that area. But for now, Martial, hopefully he's just going to hit that good bit of form now. Hopefully he's got that confidence back now that he can be a big-time goal scorer for United in the Premier League. Hopefully he can do that. It's 2 goals for the lad tonight, so I'm buzzing about that one. It takes me on to our second goal scorer of the day, who scored in the 36th minute, which incidentally is double his age, because he's 18 years old, and that man is Mason Greenwood. I mean, holy crap. Who is this guy? Is he the bloody second coming? Is he the Messiah? Was Jesus born on Christmas Day? Have we found him again? I don't know. But either way, it seems like we've got just an absolute gem of a player coming through here. 18 years of age, only just turned 18 in October, by the way. Do you know what I mean? And he is just, did you see the goal he scored today? His general all-round play, I must say, was so composed. It was so much more advanced than his years. The way that he just looked so comfortable on the ball. The way that he does the right thing more often than not. Like a young player, when they get the ball in a position where they've got a few opposition shirts around him, they can panic. They can try and create something that isn't there. And what he does, he just keeps hold of it. He takes it into the right bit of space. He finds a teammate or he beats a man. I'm just so impressed with his general all-round level of play for somebody who's only 18, who's only had 21 appearances for Manchester United, and most of those have been as a substitute. Most of those has been a couple of minutes at the end of games here. He scored 8 goals now for Manchester United in those 21 appearances, and most of which, like I say, are as substitute or late coming on. So I think that he's just done absolutely amazingly. He's literally played himself into this team. It was the 100% correct decision to select Mason Greenwood in this side tonight against Newcastle, based solely on form, based solely on what these players are giving the team. He's been giving us just as much as anybody in this side over the last month. So I was so happy Mason Greenwood was selected tonight. And there you go. That's all the doubts answered. He should absolutely be in there playing every single game at the moment until he plays himself out of form, if he ever does, which I personally don't think he will, because he's absolutely naturally quality. And I haven't been as excited about a player coming through at Manchester United or a young player coming through at United since Wayne Rooney. Rashford excited me, but not as much as Mason Greenwood. Mason Greenwood just seems like in the next few years he will develop and turn into one of the truly best world-class forwards in the game. He already has glimpses of looking like Robin van Persie. Ridiculously high praise indeed. Van Persie at one point, for me, was the best number 9 in the world. Easy to say that, but, there was a time him and Falcao maybe, we're not talking about Ronaldo's and Messi's and these guys, talking about out and out. I think he's got that ability to be one of the best strikers in the world ever. And at the moment, we're seeing him in a sort of creative role as well, which is absolutely brilliant. I just think Solskjaer deserves credit developing Mason Greenwood. Solskjaer deserves credit and bringing him along gradually and slowly as well. But now I think he's proven that he can step up and he can be that quality player for us. I'm absolutely buzzing about Mason Greenwood. Let's just talk about the other goal scorer of the game then quickly, and then we'll get into your comments and read a bunch of them out and see what you guys think about the game. But just to analyse the performances individually a little bit more before we do that and get in on your comment section. By the way, if you are tuning in, please smash a cheeky little like on this video. Thanks for joining me for the watch along earlier and for this post-match show here. But let's talk about the other goal as well. Marcus Rashford. What a finish that was. What a headed finish. I thought it was Cristiano Ronaldo from the other day. He jumped like 2.5 meters or whatever. Marcus, not quite as much as that, let's be real now. Cristiano Ronaldo is an actual freak. Pretty much NBA standards of jumping. But no, Rashford, he leapt like a salmon. He beat Newcastle's defence, beat their defender and smashed it in the back of the net with a great placed header. Really fantastic goal. And a lot of the credit has to go to Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who again was solid as a bloody rock today at the back. He's always solid. It's always thou shalt not pass. You cannot get past Aaron Wan-Bissaka, aka Gandalf the Grey, because he's just impassable. He's immovable. You cannot get past the man. But what a lot of people don't give him enough credit for is his ability going forward. And that is because his ability going forward is definitely not as good as his ability defensively, because there's pretty much nobody in the league who's got the defensive ability of Aaron Wan-Bissaka, in my opinion. In a one-on-one situation versus a flying winger or an attacker, there's nobody I'd rather have defending that than Aaron Wan-Bissaka in the league. That's it. If it was Space Jam, if the aliens came down from Mars or whatever and took everybody's juju and, took all of their mojo or whatever it is that's called, and we had to assemble a team to come up against the aliens, I would definitely have Aaron Wan-Bissaka right back. That's 100% true. But he did show that he's got that ability going forward today. He did show he has the ability to provide an assist, because that cross in today was absolutely wonderful. The placement, the perfect weight, the pass, just everything about it was just completely perfect. So I'm very, very happy with Aaron Wan-Bissaka's overall performance today. Great to see him provide an assist. Great to see him defending as he does. He's the best right back in the league. We forgive him for last week's error in that Watford game, which, by the way, was pretty much the first error we have seen from him in his Manchester United career. Like, if you're talking about who's been the best player for United so far this season, it's definitely him or Dan James. They have been standout performers for United this season. So I'm just so happy that he's put that bad performance, well, I say bad performance, but put that error-prone performance last week behind him and put in a really great performance today and sort of made up for it there by providing an assist and just being an all-round freaking solid as a rock player. So there you go. I mean, overall team performance as well. Let's talk about this. So I think defensively we're a little bit vulnerable for the first half an hour. I was a little bit disappointed with Luke Shaw defensively. I always really am. I think he's great going forward. My choice would be give Williams left back spot, turn Luke Shaw into a winger when needs be. Honestly, I know that's crazy, but that's what I would do, because I just don't think Luke Shaw's that great defensively. Lindelof, I think, leaves a lot to be desired as well. I really think we should try and be looking at Twanzebe at this stage. Harry Maguire today defensively was a little bit all over the place at times, but he did more than make up for that, to be fair. He put in a decent performance after making that awful error to give them the lead to start off with, which was shambolic, and he should be doing better. Aaron Wan-Bissaka was absolutely brilliant. David De Gea, good performance from David De Gea. Didn't really have all that much to do. They only had a couple of shots on goal the entirety of the game. But after the performance he had last week, where he's just had an absolute freaking Flappy Bird daymare, like, what's he doing with that mistake last week? I don't want to talk about it now, but he's got to put those errors behind him. You can't do that if you're a top-level keeper. You can't even do it if you're a mid-level keeper. It's too awful to make those sort of errors, It's like I used to think David De Gea's top score on Flappy Bird would be like 278. But judging by how much of a flapper he was last week and how shocking he was, he probably dies at around the 4 mark. That's what I'm thinking about David De Gea. Anyway, bit of an obscure reference. Don't even know if that game's still around. But David De Gea, solid performance from him. Midfield then, let's talk about this. So McTominay was taken off at half-time for Pogba, which I think was out of necessity, really, because McTominay was very full-blooded in that first half, and if he'd have stayed on the pitch much longer, he probably would have got sent off. He's very passionate, he's very committed, sometimes overly committed, and you can see that with some of the fouls that he makes. What he does for the team, though, in terms of fouls, is actually very, very important. There are a couple of times where Newcastle could have got away. He's happy to sacrifice himself a little bit and foul the opposition. It may be dirty, whatever it is. He's not dirty. He's just playing to the rules there. And of course, he got punished. He got a yellow, whatever. We had to take him off at half-time there to just make sure that we weren't going to get 10 men, because we didn't want to undo all that good work that we'd done. But I was quite happy with the performance that he put in. It was full-blooded, it was committed, it was passionate, and he is everything that I want from a Manchester United player. He's been one of our standout performers this season too. Much better improved performance from the game last week as well from him, and the midfield in general. Fred was actually really good today again. I personally thought I saw a lot of moments where he's got on the ball, he's got his head up, he's played in some real instrumental passes, he's got our wingers away. I was very happy with how Fred bossed that midfield today, to be fair, at times. Now, it wasn't Scholesy, it wasn't that inspiring, but it was just It was good stuff. I enjoyed the midfield partnership today from McTominay and Fred up to half-time. And then half-time came around, which is where we saw Paul Pogba come on. And I must say right now, like Paul Pogba, even though he's playing in the midfield too, because McTominay went off and we didn't want to put Pereira back there because it leaves us vulnerable. And that's not Pogba's best position. I think his best position is in behind the striker, creating. But what I will say about Paul Pogba is it was instant improvement. When Paul Pogba comes on, he's got so much passing ability. It's obvious that he can just tick things over in that midfield for United. It was so much better. The way that we were popping things on, the passing and moving with him and the players around him, it was a joy to behold in that second half. So massive credit to Paul Pogba. Look, the thing is with Paul Pogba, I hope that he's a success at United. I hope that he stays at United now because we need him. We don't have the players here. Are United going to be able to sign somebody like James Maddison and Kante or Ndidi or somebody in the window? No. Is the answer. We're not. So we need Paul Pogba. And certainly I don't want to see Paul Pogba leaving until we've got a midfielder or two really quality midfielders coming in to replace. I don't want to see that. But I think Paul Pogba's going to play quite a pivotal role for United in this January period. I think the way that he is a talisman for us in that centre of midfield role today was evident in that second half. He was pulling the strings. Also, he is a goal threat. Also, he's a big physical player. He's way better at unlocking a defence and creating than any other player we've got in our midfield at the moment. Whether it's Fred or McTominay, or, you know, if he's going to play in an advanced role, whether you're talking about Lingard, which we're not even talking about Lingard because he's garbage at unlocking defences. You're talking about, Gomez or Chong. They're young, they're ones for the future maybe. They're nowhere near Paul Pogba's level in terms of creation right now. Wan-Bissaka, I thought, had a good game actually when he came on the pitch. Really good cameo from him, couple of brilliant assists, but he's the only other player we've really got that has that intellectual ability to unlock a defence, that intelligence on the ball. So for me, Paul Pogba's a huge player for United at the moment. Love him, loathe him, worship him, hate him, whatever it may be. Like, we need him right now. We need him right now more than ever because we don't have another quality player like Paul Pogba who can unlock and create and do the business for United. Now, he has to be consistent. I think we'll see better performances from Paul Pogba if he's given that role in behind the striker. If he's given that Andreas Pereira role today, who I thought actually put in a good shift today, Andreas Pereira. There are moments where I'm just like, what are you doing, Andreas? Well, he's having shots from 40 yards out. He thinks he's Ronaldo and some of his passing's wayward. But today he was actually quite influential with his passing and he created for United. I was quite impressed with Andreas Pereira's overall play today. So fair play to the lad. You know, Greenwood was brilliant in terms of creation. Greenwood was fantastic. Rashford was brilliant down the left as well, especially second half. So look, I'm very, very happy with the overall team performance out there today. From an individual point of view and from a team point of view, we showed a bit of adversity. We were handed a bit of adversity at the start of the game there with Newcastle taking the 1-0 lead, and we had to claw our way back into the game. And we had to get that equaliser, which didn't take long. I think 7 minutes later, Martial's got the ball in the back of the net, and then that sort of opened the floodgates. As soon as we scored, as soon as we realised, you know what? Newcastle were just shit. And okay, we may be shit at the moment as well, but we're not as shit as Newcastle United. As soon as we realised that, it was a happy day at the office for United, and it was just all pleasure. It was all free-flowing, going forward. Stats-wise, I'm sure we absolutely ripped them a new one. I'll get them up in a moment and have a look at them. But yeah, very happy with the performance, buzzing about it. We've beaten them well. In terms of where we are in the league table, it's kind of annoying because the best we could have done out of this one today was going up to 7th, which is not acceptable enough, really. But I mean, if you look at it, there's a bit of a tight group there. We're on 28 points. Wolves are just below us on 27, and then Sheffield United and Spurs are both ahead of us in 6th and 5th place, respectively, on 29 points. So they're both a point ahead of us. We're only 4 points behind Chelsea, who've obviously won. So who's obviously lost. I mean, so. Well, I don't know what they've done, actually. But either way, they're 4 points ahead of us. Wasn't paying attention to many of the other results today. But United, 7th, but really we're only 4 points off of 4th. So in terms of where we should be, we're not too far away from where we should be. It's just so annoying, though, that we can't do what we did today against all the lesser teams that we come up against. There's no way that Watford side should be coming to Old Trafford and beating us 2-0. That's a fucking calamity. It's an absolute embarrassment, to be fair. And if we hadn't have had that poor result against them and we'd won that game, you know, we'd be right up there in 5th place at the moment, above Spurs and Sheffield United comfortably here. And if we'd have beaten Everton, when we which we should have done at home again after the terrible run that they've had, we'd be right. We'd probably be in the top 4 right now. So that's the problem with United this season. It's like we beat the teams we shouldn't necessarily be beating. We took points off Liverpool, the only team to do that this season. We beat City, we beat Spurs, then we draw with Everton, lose to Watford, and we went 1-0 down against Newcastle. And I was like panic stations because look, I know what it means at this stage to be like 9th in the league. That would have been truly atrocious. Like we would have been below Crystal Palace today if we'd have lost that game against Newcastle United. We'd have been like 9th or 10th in the league. And the pressure would have mounted, the pressure from the owners, the Glazers, Woodward, to question Ole Gunnar's commitment or Ole Gunnar's quality for the role would have all been massively brought to the fore again. So I'm just massively happy that United got the win. We came back from going a goal down. We smashed 4 in. We've dominated Newcastle. We made them look like a bunch of freaking Geordie mugs. Day 69 at Old Trafford. I went for a sort of Scottish there. Ollie smashes the Geordies. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Anyway, great performance from us. What can you say? Happy days. Man of the match performance. Crikey, it's a difficult one, you know. I don't know. Man of the match, Aaron Wan-Bissaka was faultless today. He got that brilliant assist. It's hard for him to get that when Martial's got on the score sheet twice. He's obviously another candidate for it. Such a shame, though, that Anthony Martial could not get that hat-trick for United. That hat-trick that has eluded us since 2013 in all competitions. That is a filth statistic, by the way. The last hat-trick scorer for United was Robin van Persie. You'd have think maybe Zlatan would have done it or something. No, we've got to go all the way back to Robin van Persie in 2013, the last time we had somebody score a hat-trick for United. I mean, that's absolutely depressing, isn't it? But it's true. I was hoping Martial was going to put that to bed today and be that hat-trick scorer for us. Hit the inside of the post, missed opportunity, and then he was taken off the pitch. So saving him a little bit there. Fair play. But it would have been nice to get that. But still, great that he's got 2 goals. Great for his confidence. And just buzzing about that one. Right then, let's get into the comment section. Thank you to everybody that's joining me today and everybody who watched along as well in the match commentary. Let's get into your thoughts and opinions and see what you guys think about the performance today from United. Get your thoughts and opinions in. Let me know what you think and we'll get deep into them right now. JP comments, the Glazers look like walking ball bags. They do, more like rolling ball bags, to be fair. But thank you for that comment there. MT, LOL, Junior Red comments, Pig, you are a legend. Thank you very much, Junior Red. You too. Absolute bloody legend. And Senior Red too. Viking Red. Thank you very much. Gungshi comments, Greenwood was really impressive. Thank you very much, Gungshi, for getting in here, pal. Yeah, Greenwood was amazing, wasn't he? I mean, I can't get over the fact that he's so technically good and he's only just turned 18. Turned 18 in October, and he's just so confident on the ball. He's so, he's got great vision. And even that opportunity that he took and he scored that goal, sure, there was an element of luck in it because it has taken a deflection. And the way that he got hold of it and he struck it, I didn't really see the deflection first time around. I thought he'd just pulled off some sort of crazy knuckle puck dipping technique. But there was a touch on the defender who was sliding in, which has given it that, you know, giving it that top spin, if you like, to just tuck it under the bar. But either way, just the ability to read the situation, the know-how to take it into the right bit of space, find his foot and get the shot off confidently, get it on target. I mean, this guy, we've barely seen him shoot wide. He has done it a few times, but he's not had that many opportunities this season. And most of the time, this lad gets on target. And if not most of the time, he bloody scores. So I'm just over the moon with the player that we've got on our hands here. Mason Greenwood. Not only is he a player right now who walks into the team, I think, every week now at the moment, based on form, but he's somebody that, give it 5 years, give it 3 years, give it a year, and he's going to be so much better than he is now. That's just the way it works, hopefully. Anyway, with progression, hopefully, if he stays injury-free. He's at the right football club, I think, Mason Greenwood. You know, he's come through the system, but also he's at the right club because we need players like him at the moment. He's at a top club that's a sleeping giant of a club right now, to be fair. He's going to get game time. He's probably not going to get too much game time. It's not like all the emphasis is on Greenwood. That would be unfair, but there's going to be a lot of games where we see Mason Greenwood, so that's great for him. It's great for his development. We've got a real gem of a player on our hands here, Gungshi. There's no doubt about that. Like, he is literally, he's got to be one of the best 18-year-old players in the world right now, and we've got him at Man United, so we've got to be happy with that. some of the other youngsters we got coming through, whether it's Williams or Garner or Chong and Gomez and, Rashford still only 21, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Dan James. I mean, the future's very, very, very bright. I mean, I don't want to talk about it again, but the future at United is so bright. Like, people want results right now. We don't have the squad right now to get the results, but what we do have is a squad full of really fantastic future prospects who could be stars in a few years' time. So, hang on to your seats, baby, because it's going to be a screamer at United over the next coming years. Super chat here from Matty Rush. Thank you very, very much, Matty Rush, for getting in with your super chat, pal. Always great to see you in here. Says, bring on the next game. Pogba made a real difference. Yeah, very, very astute comment there. Thank you for your super chat. He says about Pogba that, he did make a difference. He absolutely did. I thought when Pogba came on, he looked the most comfortable on the ball in midfield. He was popping it off to everybody. It was forward passes. It was little chips over the top. There was great movement from him as well. He nearly got on the score sheet a couple of times himself. Couple of good long shots, but also some of the runs he made in behind. There was one in particular where Juan Matas played a brilliant ball in, great ball over the top from a wide position. Pogba's made a fantastic run, which has got the attention of Juan Matas, who's played the ball over, and Pogba could have put it in the back of the net. He didn't quite get enough on it, but he was just influential. He caused problems. He created. He passed it around in the centre of the park for us, and I personally agree entirely with you, Matt. I think he did make a big difference for us. I want to see him playing in front of McTominay and Fred at the moment, and I think if we do that, we go from having real lack of creativity in there, whether it's Pereira playing, who actually did okay today, or whether it's Lingard playing, who's never okay, or any of the other players that we might select there. It gives us an immediate increase in class in terms of creation in that position. Hugely. Paul Pogba is fantastic on the ball. He really is. Now, I hope he performs consistently. The way he performed last time coming on the pitch was good, and today even better. I think it was absolutely excellent today when he's come on and put in that 45-minute cameo appearance, if you like. He's coming back from a serious injury out. You don't want to rush him too soon. But look, I really do hope now that Paul Pogba kicks on at United. I hope that Solskjaer selects him in the side. I hope that we start to see the best of Paul Pogba, because we know what a great player he is. And we'll all be lying to ourselves if we say we haven't seen the best of Paul Pogba yet in a United shirt. And he's been here for 4 years now, but we haven't seen the best of him. Okay, sometimes here and there we have, like that Man City performance a few seasons ago, which we all keep talking about because it was an amazing performance. It's one of a handful of truly amazing performances. We want to see it more consistently. But I tell you something, if Solskjaer gives him the opportunity to play in front of Fred and in front of McTominay, and he takes away the defensive responsibility, takes that all away from Paul Pogba and just allows Pogba to create, allows Pogba to attack, allows Pogba to thread those killer passes through the opposition defence, then you're going to see a much better Paul Pogba. I truly believe that. I think a lot of the problem with Paul Pogba is the fact that he's just not that comfortable doing the dirty work, and he's not that comfortable doing the defensive work. But when you put him in a position where he can create and he can attack and he can influence the game in a real attacking positive way and have shots on goal and thread passes through, I think that's when you see the best from Paul Pogba. So I fully agree with you there, Matt, and I hope that we do see a lot of improvement from Paul Pogba while he's still here. Now, he still may well leave at some point, whether it goes to Real Madrid or Juventus or whoever. He may well leave, but what I'd like to see United try and do is keep hold of him for this year, until the end of the summer at least. Now a little while ago I said cash in January, get the players in, but the situation United are in right now and the players that we're going to be looking at signing, it's like none of them really, I don't think, are as good as Paul Pogba. Now, because we can't get James Maddison right now. He's at Leicester, they're successful, they're challenging for things. He's not going to come to United in January. There's no way Leicester will let him leave in January. We'd have to pay an insane amount of money. And there's a lot of other players, a lot of other teams that situation is the same for. So I think at this stage right now, we need Pogba more than we ever have done. We got a comment here from Michael Shows, who says, we did during Ollie's 11-game run last season. Yeah, that's true. What in terms of seeing what the best from Paul Pogba, you're right. Paul Pogba looked very, very good. I think he was played in a more advanced position up there in a 4-3-3 a lot of the time as well. And we saw the influence that he had on the game. We saw the goals. We saw the quality from him. Was that a big FU to Jose Mourinho just to turn on the class because Jose left? It seemed like it a little bit at the time. But the entire team seemed to play way better for those 11 games after Ole Gunnar came in. So I agree with you. Hopefully we can recapture some of that. Another super chat here from Matt Rush. Thank you. He says, tell you one thing, Pig. I don't want Sean Longstaff. He was awful. Fair play, yeah. I always get them confused, but was Matty Longstaff the one who scored? Yeah, is that right? But either way, the Longstaffs, I mean, the thing is about the Longstaffs, you know, they stink. They could do with a long bath, if you ask me. No, I'm joking. But no, the long staffs, you know, have they really got long staffs or have they got little staffs? You know what I mean? Have they got little stubs? That's personally what I think. No, to be fair, I think one of them's got a long staff and the other one's got a short staff. You know, that's what I'm thinking anyway. Sorry, I just tickled myself there. Not inappropriately or anything. But anyway, yeah. I agree. Certainly not for 50 million quid anyway. Look, maybe if you can get this mug for like 18 million, 20 quid, and a packet of freaking KP peanuts, maybe I'll take the long staff off your hands, pal. But for 50 million quid, Mike Ashley, stick that in your freaking pipe and inhale it, son. Because we don't want that shite for 50 million quid. Now, they're actually quite good prospects, aren't they? Both of them, if we're being honest. But as you know, at United right now, I think there's much better players we could be looking to go out there and get. I think last time around against us, they both did very, very well. And they are actually decent, so... Apadu Nikhil, how you doing? He comments, who you choose, McTominay or Fred? If you're talking overall, I actually really like them as a midfield partnership now. I think over the last 7 or 8 games, they've built up an understanding together and they look more comfortable than they ever have done. Now, I know they've had a couple of bad performances in there. Last game, you know, it wasn't unacceptable, but generally, they've improved. Generally, they look more comfortable together. So I'd like to see them persevered with, and I'd like to see Pogba put in front of them. But if I had to choose between the two, that's your question. You know, I do think McTominay's a better player. I think he's a more passionate player. I think he gives more to the side. But in some ways, you know, he can be a little bit volatile. In some ways, he's going to be that player at some point, sort of like a Roy Keane. He's not obviously as much of an animal as Roy Keane, but at some point like a Roy Keane, where he's so good, but he will cost you points at some point because he'll get sent off or he'll, you know, put his body on the line for the team. He'll get an injury or he'll get sent off and he will cause us some issues at some point in the future. So you've got to have different characters in the side. He plays with his heart on his sleeve and I love what he does for the team. So I would just edge it for McTominay there. I still think we could do with another quality player in that position. Let's read a few more of your comments out then, lads. Says, how have we been going for 32 minutes already? That's bloody nuts. Anyway, absolutely amazing game of football from United. We've smashed up Newcastle United. We've done the Geordies at Old Trafford. We've seen them off with a 4-1 result. It's a bloody great victory. Enjoy it while we can because, you know, goals have been few and far between for United, really. To score 4 is amazing. It's kind of a little bit unfortunate that when we did get 4, we didn't carry on and pile the pressure on and really keep that intensity up because after we went 1 down, the intensity from United was brilliant. And we scored 4 goals and it was amazing. But once we got that 4th goal, we sort of took our foot off the gas a little bit, and I would have really liked to have seen us just absolutely just boot it and try and get 6 or 7, because that would have really made a statement and really given us some confidence right now. Ill United comments, we need to sell Jones, Matic and Mata. Well, I mean, I think the first 2 you're spot on, but I still think Mata has something to offer us, at least until the end of the season. You saw that from the last couple of performances he's put in. Like, he has had a couple of ropey ones this season, but today he was good when he came on. You can't deny that. He played 2 absolute killer balls. And in the last couple of games, he's done well as well. Gungshi, I think you missed my early super chat pick. I'm hurt. My bad, my friend. Let's get in there. Let's get in there and read your super chat. I did indeed miss it, my son, but thank you very, very much, Gungers. He's commented and said, get in there, my pig. Loved your commentary as always. Get well soon. Great result today. P.S. What a talent Mason Greenwood is. Oh, yeah. Gungers, thank you very much, Gungshi. Yeah, really appreciate you getting involved with the live show earlier, and everybody else as well who watches the watch along. And thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the commentary, and appreciate the get well soon comment as well, because I am feeling rough after this video. I'm gonna definitely take some more paracetamol and maybe get myself some sort of a hot lemon drink and just have a good old rest up and chill out. To be fair, because I feel like absolute bloody gash. I feel like David Moyes looks. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, Mason Greenwood, I mean, what an absolute unbelievable talent we got on our hands there. 18, finisher, natural ability, influential in the team already, played his way into this side. He's got there's no reason to take him out of the side at this moment. He's just looking as good and as comfortable as anybody we could put in there. So yeah, over the moon with Mason Green. We've got ourselves a real special player there. Do you know what I mean? Oh, mangasm about Mason Greenwood. That's wrong to say that. That's kind of wrong. Actually, he's just turned 18, so it's okay. But either way, I've got a mangasm. I've got a semi over Mason Greenwood. That sounded messed up. I tell you what, if somebody set up like one of those Eddie Hearn out of context things, that'd definitely be getting used. But luckily, nobody's interested in that shit. So, but Manchester United absolutely are in a positive position in terms of what we can do in the next few years. People are wanting a quick fix, and people are wanting us to do the business and challenge right now. It's not going to happen. Unfortunately, we're just a bit far away from where we should be. Now, we shouldn't be losing against Watford. It's unacceptable. But there are going to be bad days and there are going to be good days. There's probably going to be a lot more bad days than we're used to as United fans. But we need to just persevere. We need to progress. We need to improve. We need to make some good signings. We need to put ourselves in the position where in 2 or 3 years' time we can challenge for everything. But until then, I'm not expecting we win anything, to be honest. I'm not expecting we win any trophies. I'm not expecting necessarily that I don't think we'll get top 4 this season. I don't think we should get top 4 this season. The Glazers didn't give Ollie the right squad at the start of the season to do that. They held us back at the start of the season effectively. And they could make up for that in January, but I doubt it. So let's just see what happens between now and the end of the season. You might want Ollie out. Fair enough, I still think he's only had a year. Sure, he's showed some managerial bottle job moments. He's also showed some good managerial moments too. Besting Pep and besting Jose and taking points off Klopp and that sort of stuff. Like, he's done some good stuff against the big boys, just against the lesser shite that we struggled against. But then, if you're missing key players like Pogba, if you don't have the creative players necessarily to unlock these low block teams, it's difficult. So let's see what he can do anyway. Until the end of the season, let's see what United can achieve over the next couple of years with these great, talented young players that we've got. JP comments, Pig, don't say you have a semi over teenage boys. I know that's true. Well, I say he's 18 at the moment, so technically that's okay, I think. But I just let everyone know, I've got a missus. I'm not actually sexually excited at all by Mason Greenwood. I'm just simply saying I've got a semi at the prospect of Mason Greenwood turning into one of the world's best players, you know, at Manchester United. That's what I was saying, just to clarify. Matt Rush comments, squad is still too light. Rashi and Marshall taken off early to rest them. Yeah, very, very true. We do need to improve in certain areas. We need to improve the depth in certain areas. We 100% need a new striker. Like, it would have been lovely to have brought Haaland on the pitch, for instance. We need a creative midfielder as well. And a defensive midfielder too, I think, is an absolute must for what we're trying to achieve at the club. And we know that our weakest position is the striker when Martial's not fit. We know the weakest position is definitely the midfield as well, with how lacking in creativity we are. So, ironically, it's like there are some issues at the back for United. Like, we saw Maguire today struggling, committing an error. And I worry for him because he's been here quite a while now. We spent a lot of money on him. And he's just not really impressed that much. It's not about scoring goals for defenders. I'm not talking about the fact he's not got his big slab head on a corner and put it on the back of the net. I'm talking about defensive errors from the lad, you know. It's a nightmare. Anyway, lads and lasses, I'm going to wrap this one up now. We've been going on a little while, feeling a little bit rough now. I am feeling better because United won the game, though. We smashed Newcastle. Have some of that, the Geordies. That's what I say. But I just want to say a special thank you to everybody that tunes into these post-match shows and the watch-alongs and stuff. It's been a great year on the channel on Flying Pig United. Thank you to everybody in this great community of people that makes these videos what they are by getting involved in the comments section. If I haven't, oh dear, if I haven't responded to you in the live chat, then apologies, but please come back in a few moments once this video is finished and get your thoughts and opinions in the not live comments, and then I will respond in due course, and so can everybody else there. So massive shout out to you all. I hope you all had an amazing Christmas time or happy holidays, whatever you believe in. I hope you just had a great time. And also, it's coming to the end of the year. I hope 2020 is a fantastic year for you guys. I hope all your dreams come true in 2020, whatever that may be. And hopefully it's going to be an awesome 2020 for United and Ollie. And we'll really start to see the team kick on and improve. We're desperate for signings. We know that. What do you guys think about the Glazers actually going out there and spending some money in January? What do you think about Potato Boy Woodward actually having the freaking ability to bring these players into the club right now? We know we need them. Are they going to back Ollie in the January window? That's what I want to know. So get all your thoughts and opinions in. Get your opinions in about who you think performed for United today. Who was your man of the match? Get your thoughts and opinions in. A few shout-outs at the end here. Mark Toivonen, Stefan Herringtonio, JP, Matt Rush, Richard James, Skujo1, Gungshi, of course, The Music Fiend, Buster Cherry, Test the Spirits. Who else is there? Abbas Hassani. Illy United, I mean, Saeed Shah. I mean, there's just a bunch of a complete freaking absolute about legends in here. So thank you very much for tuning in. I'm absolutely buzzing over that one. That is just what the doctor ordered. You know, I couldn't be doing with United losing another game at this stage. I just could not be doing with it. After losing to the shittest bottom of the table team, Watford, last week, there was no excuse in this one. We had to beat Newcastle. In the end, after going one down, we've done that, and we've done it emphatically too. Mason Greenwood on song, Rashford on song, Martial brace. Oh my days! Oh! Mangasm. Anyway, I'll see you soon. Thanks for stopping by, each and every one of you. You're a bunch of legends. Have a bloody good one. I'll see you soon. You've been watching Flying Pig United. Like I say, please do smash a like on this video before you go. Help a brother out. Also, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Click the bell icon to be notified when we post on this channel. There'll be upcoming content. There'll be a best of the season highlights video this year before the end of the year. So keep a lookout for that. I'll get Henry Hotspur on soon for some sort of Pig in the Hand show. We'll get a bit of the schedule back, back into normalcy very, very soon. So keep a lookout for that. But once again, thanks to you all for stopping by. Thanks for helping this channel out this year. Thanks for being legends. Thanks for being part of this awesome community of football fans. And honestly, you're all bloody awesome in my book. So you have yourselves a good one. Have some of that, Geordies. We've beaten Newcastle United 4-1. I'll see you very, 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 very soon. You've been watching the Flying Pig on Flying Pig United. I won't do my trademark snort because that could cause all sorts of complications for me. But I'll see you very, very, very soon. Stay classy. Have yourselves a good one. And come on, United! Oh, yes. Anyway, hopefully I didn't just burst your eardrum there, especially if you're listening to some new headphones you got for Christmas. But anyway, shout out to you all. Shout out to the legends of the channel. Few that I maybe not shouted out here. Mubala Brandon is a legend. Thank you for getting in there. And Gary Wells, Mark Toivonen, Bernal Dean. I think I pretty much shouted everyone else out, but special shout out at the end to these Patreon legends who support the channel on Patreon. Link in the description if you want to check it out. Alex Rudd, Alex Rincon, Ikalul, Matt Norton, Lucinda Green, Robbo, Liam White, Gungshi, Jarvis Cocker, Pete Miller, and also I've got to add Wallace Montcroy Stewart to that as well, who's the newest patron on the channel. So thank you to each and every one of you legends. You stay classy. Have a happy new year. I hope 2020 is amazing for you and United. Come on, United. I'll see you soon. It was a bad idea. Take it easy.